Hello, and it's good to have you join us again on Maritime Radar. An effective port-state control regime results in the saving of lives through the reduction of emission substandard ships, including ship accidents, and the preservation of the marine environment. This also includes improving the working conditions of seafarers who seem to face challenges that impact the economy. Therefore, the need for harmonization of the control institutions regime. Capacity building is also imperative to ensure that member states have an effective port-state control regime. This training provides technical support and cross-orientation of ideas for the raw improvement of port-state control institutions in the African region towards knowing substandard ships, ensuring safety and employment of seafarers while protecting the marine environment and maritime assets. Repositioning the maritime sector in the West and Central African region and ensuring all member states are captured in the protective net for effectiveness are some of the issues that will be on the front burner on today's show. I'm Nneoma Obi-Asualo. The Abuja MOU is a legal document under which countries of the region agree to develop and implement a common mechanism for their respective port-state control activities. The main work of the MOU is the harmonization of the port-state control procedure and practices of all the countries in the region, aimed at eliminating the operation of substandard shipping within the region, thereby ensuring maritime safety, security, and protection of the marine environment from pollution. It also includes improving ship crews, facilitating regional cooperation and the exchange of information amongst member states. There are 22 countries whose port-state control functions falls within the Abuja MOU. Before we get further into today's lineup on the program, let's find out the latest in maritime news.
The Borno State Government and the Nigerian Shippers Council (NSC) have intensified their commitment to fast-tracking the completion of the inland dry port in Jawari, Maiduguri. State Governor Babagana Zulum, accompanied by his entourage, visited the Nigerian Shippers Council headquarters, where he was warmly received by the managing team led by Executive Secretary and CEO Pius Akuta. During the visit, the governor was briefed on the importance of infrastructure in national development, with a particular focus on the Jawari Inland Dry Port. Pius Akuta, Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Shippers Council (NSC), noted that the council is responsible for developing inland dry port across Nigeria. Borno State is recognized as a critical trans-border trade route that will enhance international trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area (AfTA). In his remarks, Zulum reiterated his commitment to ensuring the successful completion of the Jawari Inland Dry Port within 6 months. He emphasized Borno State's strategic position, bordering 3 countries, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon, which positions it as a key hub for trans-border trade. The new dry port in Maiduguri is set to manage over 10,000 containers each day, underscoring Governor Zulum's commitment to advancing crucial infrastructure like the transit park. With Nigeria currently operating 7 inland dry ports, only 2 of which are finished, this project marks a significant step forward in enhancing the country's logistics capabilities. The Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, Abubakar Dansoho, has appointed 7 new port managers. The appointments, dated 14th August 2024, were announced through an internal memorandum titled Disposition and signed by the Managing Director. The new port managers are Adebowale Lawal Ibrahim, Lagos Port Complex Apapa; Abubakar Sani Isa, Tinkan Island Port Complex; Abdurrahman Husseini, One Port; Sadu Dahiru Mohammed, Delta Port. The others are Emmanuel Anda Lekki Port, Kenneth Edith Okeze, Rivers Port, and Ekine Ibifri Alex, Calabar Port. The former port managers Charles Okaga, Sylvester Igede, Testim Bamidele Makonjola, Olumati Ikechi Festus, and Aliyu Abubakar have been transferred back to the NPA headquarters effective immediately. This move marks the second major appointment made by Dansoho since his assumption of office as NPA Managing Director in July.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Reader. Our guest today on the show is a thorough professional and one of the most respected master mariners in Nigeria. He is Captain Sunday Umoren, Secretary General, Abuja MOU Port State Control. He shares on the issue of substandard ships, the plight of Nigerian seafarers on the acceptability of their COC, positioning them for export to earn foreign direct investment, and how he has developed a system of harmonized port state control inspection procedures by working through the instrument of cooperation, coordination, and collaboration. These are many more in this mind-blowing conversation. Stay with us. It's good to have you join us again on the show, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So let's start this conversation having a follow-up on the key achievements you shared the last time you were on the show. Some of them are the ISO certified, the DG's workshop, the EMSA support for capacity building, the training of port authorities, and so many more you shared the last time you were here on the show.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. A lot of activities have taken place, and you know, shipping is quite dynamic. Shipping is quite dynamic. On an annual basis, we have new conventions, new guidelines coming into play. With respect to the ISO certification, ISO 9001/2015. I'm happy to say that we are fully certified. We have certificate conspicuously displayed in our office, in the chairman's office, and the vice chairman's office. So everything is fine, and we are fully compliant and working now according to the dictates of the certifying authorities. The DG workshop, which was going to be the second workshop for the year for the policymakers. You know, because like I said earlier, it's not just about getting the port state control officers who are the field workers to be trained, to be knowledgeable about the expectation of International Maritime Organization. It is also about getting the policymakers to be involved. I mean, securing their buy-in, because there's absolutely no way those guys can succeed without the DGs. So the workshop, currently we are still finalizing the arrangement with IMO, and most likely it will be combined. It will be combined with AMA conference, Association of African Maritime Association conference that will be held in Nairobi. But it's all about funding and IMO giving the final word. So we are quite expectant that that's going to happen.
And the EMSA support for capacity building?
EMSA too, we've formalized the agreement or the MOU with EMSA, which is the European Maritime Safety Agency. So they are fully on board as partners. We are fully on board as technical support to offer technical support to the Abuja MOU region. Accesses have been given to their educational platform. Currently, our port state control officers are enjoying the dividend of that MOU. So we're looking at moving to the next phase, which will be probably organization of physical trainings and exchange program for port state control officers. Yes, in a nutshell, the agreement has been finalized and currently being consummated. And then the mentor-mentee scheme, which, like I said the last time, is a scheme whereby port state control or countries that are struggling in port state control inspections are being mentored by the ones that are really high update. It was kick-started in Nigeria, with Nigeria mentoring Sierra Leone. Currently, we are working on the plan for Cameroon. Cameroon wants to come in as a mentee, and we are looking at a hybrid, you know, a bit of twist now. So they're not going to be mentored by just one country. In this particular aspect, we will be sending the inspectors, the trainers, or the mentors to Cameroon. Okay. So we're looking at having one from French-speaking country, one from English-speaking country. So you could have a blend of Nigeria, South Africa, and Senegal going to mentor the Cameroonians. So the list is we are building up the list, and yes, the project has been kick-started, and it's currently running very well. On the training for port authorities, we haven't had one yet, but we are in discussion with two countries. Although we have done the sensitization with all the member states, they have all shown interest. They are all ready just for us to have the schedule finalized, and then it will eventually roll it. I'm very confident that before the end of the year, at least we'll have the first training session.
Okay, these updates are imperative to ensure that viewers, whatever you said the last time, there's a follow-up and that you are really following through what you said on the show. So I also want to know what have you been up to in the last 4 or 5 months in the Abuja MOU?
Okay, but first I think I need to applaud you on the follow-up method, because it's a project-based mentality. You don't just start things and never finish it up. Execution is one of the things that's lacking in our society. And so your following up actually helps to keep us on our toes. It's not just about say and walk away, say and be held accountable.
Yes.
So that's good.
And ensure that you are doing it and not just come and take the show on the show and just say we are doing this, we are doing that, and there are no track records for them.
It is quite good. So in within the period, we've had a training sponsored by Maritime Anti-Corruption Network, MSCN. It was held in Nigeria for all our member states, so the 22 countries, the postal control officers, they all came to Lagos for the training, which was held in Lagos. It was more on ethical leadership, because being an inspector, you are exposed to a lot of things, because if an inspection is conducted objectively, non-conformities, deficiencies are highlighted. A lot of companies, a lot of masters are not very comfortable with that, because to them it's more of a stain on their reputation. But to us, it's absolutely not about that. It's about the system. It's a system that's being audited. So there is a slight possibility that a postal control officer could be compromised. So IMO has come up with a code of conduct, which we are all flagging to our postal control officers, and that led to us. In fact, Abuja MOU, like I said the last time, is the first MOU to openly collaborate with the MSCN. Others are following. So the first training they did was with us in Nigeria, and all the postal control officers came, and we are reaping the dividend of that training, because their eyes are open to the simple fact that the least request you put can actually be used against you, and it's a name and shame thing. And they are also the ambassadors of of their countries, because whatever is put out there reflects the attitude. What may not be the correct attitude, but actually it's what people will use in judging, the transparency level of your country. So that training was on, and then we also had a ILO training, International Labour Organization training in Cameroon. That was just last month for all the postal control officers. That was actually banded with Cameroon hasn't yet acceded to Maritime Labour Convention. So we had a week training to prepare Cameroon for fully accepting the MLC 2006, and afterwards was a 1-week training for all the postal control officers in the region, in Douala, and that was also sponsored by International Labour Organization. That again comes out as the first time ILO is conducting a training for postal control officers. Wow. It was well received by all, and it's agreed that they will replicate that with other MOUs. So a lot of activities have taken place.
So on the member states, I know the last time you said you have about 20 now, 2 more to go. So what's the update on that? Have you gotten the 2 remaining countries, or what's the update actually?
We're still at 20, still the 2 outstanding countries, the Republic of Namibia and Arab Republic of Mauritania. They are still they are yet to become full members, and we are working towards getting them in. I'm very confident that by the next time I appear, or before the end of the year, we will get at least one of them.
Okay, because that's imperative, because we need to get everyone
yeah.
on the protective net. So moving away from that to another core mandate, which is seafarers' welfare. You know, last time you said so many things that they are one of the challenges they had. So I took one of them, which is the acceptability of COC. So what is the update, or how can we really address this issue, especially looking at Nigerians?
Okay, acceptability of the certificate of competency, it's a flagged issue, which what we mean by flagged means the country, the member state of IMO, it's their responsibility. I'm fully aware that the new DG of NIMASA and the Honorable Minister are working very strongly on the COC, the acceptability of a Nigerian COC. And from our own end, the bit we are offering to our member states, it's what we call the NCV code, Near Coastal Voyage Code, which also is about the COCs, the certificate of competencies issued by member states to be recognized within the region. That's our reach. So we are, the committee is currently working on the document, and once signed will mean all the member states, as in all the COCs issued in Nigeria, will be accepted by the 22 countries in the region. So that is near conclusion, and we are actually going to present that in our next committee meeting that's coming up September in Congo. We will look at another core function of yours, which is eradication of substandard ships in our region, but that will be after this short break. Please stay with us.
Africa needs its own storytellers, people who understand the continent because they're from it. People who know that news is more than just a conversation starter, it's our stories. Because these stories run deeper than headlines and segments. It's about digging deeper to get the facts and telling the human side of every single story, not just the echoes from foreign headlines and perspectives. It's time to take back our narratives and share them in our voices. The birth of Africa's New Age reporting, and this is where it begins, right here at News Central TV, with stories that put Africa first.
If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Radar, and I still have with me Captain Sunday Umoren. He is the Secretary General, Abuja MOU on Port State Control. Before we went on that break, I said I wanted us to look at your another core function, which is eradication of substandard ships in the region. So I want to know, aside from that 15% you said that is a must for you, do you have any data or statistical evidence to back up that, making sure that the fight against substandard ship is being fruitful?
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. As I highlighted, the eradication of substandard ship is the core function, is the core mandate of the MOU regime. Every other thing we are doing, the capacity building, the trainings we're doing, all are aimed towards achieving this goal. With respect to inspection, yes, I have the data here. In terms of numeric as a number of inspections being that was conducted last year, Nigeria topped up with 666 inspections, of which 5 detentions were made. Republic of Congo came up close with 348 inspections with two detentions. Ghana did 168 inspections, of which 10 vessels were detained. South Africa did 126 inspections and recorded 5 detentions. Senegal did 486 inspections and recorded 1 detention. And yeah, that's the list. I mean, we have it for the sadly of the 20 countries, only 14 are conducting inspections. We are also working to ensure that all the member states are actively participating or conducting inspections.
That's very good. So to show that at least there's this, a backing for whatever claim that you have. So talk us through what can be done to curb oil spills by foreign vessels, seeing that they dominate the Nigerian waters.
Nigerian trade. Yeah. So it also boils down to, first from our own side, because you need to nip at the bud. If the vessel is not a substandard vessel, if the equipment on board the vessels are all functional, if the crew on board the vessels are well trained, the cases of accidental discharge, because you have two with respect to pollution, you have operational discharges and accidental discharges. Operational sometimes is actually intentional. The guy washing the tank, needing to pour out the effluent, and knowing that to pour it ashore will cost him so much, they may try to, probably at night, try to pour them into the sea. So that bait, there are criminal intentions. Before the accidental one, the activities of the postal control officers actually works towards eliminating that. So it means we have to be on our toes. We have to be sure that the vessels are inspected, the equipment on board the vessels are working and functional. The rules, the MAPO rules, the Maritime Pollution Regulations are fully complied with by the vessels. So that's one aspect. The other aspect again is on surveillance. Countries like Singapore, you actually have surveillance helicopters, surveillance planes at night, because when you have a film of oil on the water surface, it actually reflects light. And so the planes fly, they go around the whole coast, monitoring such reflection and probably tracing them back to a defaulting vessels. So we need to move to that level, to use technology to travel, because sometimes these things happen at night. The guy is just passing by, he's not even coming to your country, he's just passing en route to other ports, but decide to discharge as he's moving along. So if you have this kind of patrols, then you can actually be very effective in curbing such acts. And of course, once people know that they cannot go unnoticed, that will a sort of check, that will put some sort of control on them to be compliant.
Okay, before I let you go, I love my region. I want to hear good things come out of Africa. So what do you think can be done to ensure that Abuja MOU becomes top 3 amongst the 9 MOUs? Then what are your plans towards the end of the year with Abuja MOU?
Okay, what can be done is actually what we are doing.
Okay,
we are on track. We are on track with respect to placing Abuja MOU in the top quartile, and that's actually acknowledged. It's actually acknowledged. If you listen to some interventions that were made in IMO during the III committee meeting, Abuja MOU was applauded when a scorecard was read. We were applauded. And of course, there's always room for improvement. We are rebadging some protocols, some procedures from Paris MOU, which happens to be out there. We are working towards getting to the point that we will be pesetters too, and we are not very far from it. So the quality of inspectors matter a lot. We actually also have what we call the technical working group, which are a small committee of experts from member states. We have gone out to our member state to send to us the list of their subject matter experts for us to be commissioning them into getting things done. So that's it's critical. The knowledge level is critical. Attendance of IMO meetings is also very critical, because most of our member states, probably because of course, don't have representatives in IMO. So we also use our own platform. In fact, we have introduced an agenda item to which we give them a recap of things that were agreed on at IMO meetings. Even things that are not related to postal control, but related to flag states. We do that recap as part of our meetings, knowing that some of our member states don't really attend IMO meetings. So it's quite strong, and like I said much earlier, not all the member states are conducting inspections. We are pushing them. The mentor scheme came about to help us in eliminating that, and we're going to go further. As in now, the mentor-mentee scheme is actually at no cost to the member states. Because most of them also complain about the fact that, oh, they don't really have money, they can't go out doing that. So we are pushing that. We take the hit. We take the hit, take the financial exposure in sending the trainers out there for them. We are also canvassing now for support, logistics support to member states that are struggling. Some of them don't actually have cars to convey postal control officers to the field. Some don't even have boats to take postal control officers to the anchorages. And in fact, I applaud NIMASA because last year, NIMASA actually gave Sao Tome Hilux and some laptops to help them in their duties. And like I said again, I said the last time, we are almost at the, concluding the arrangement for IMO to give us some laptops for our member state. So with respect to tools, we are pushing towards having the tools done. Because in every project, you look at tools, processes, people, and resources. So tools will work towards getting that. People, we're working on that. Resources is purely national. Every flag should be that, but we're also trying to see how we can get IMO to support us through technical
and reduce the cost on
cooperation. Yes. So we are handling it full spectrum of as a project. To me, it's a project that we need to move from where we are to the top quarter. It's a project, and
I must applaud you for your passion, and because it's not everyone that come here and say certain things that they are doing that have follow-ups on them. So I'm very grateful that the things you say, there are follow-ups, you're improving on them and you're working on them. I must thank you for your passion and all you are doing for Abuja MOU. It's been Captain Sunday Umoren. He is the Secretary General Abuja MOU on postal control. We will continue to support as much as you can, and I will say well done and congratulations in all you do.
Thank you, man.
And that's our show this week. I hope the goal of assessing Abuja MOU in delivering their core mandate of checking pollution and meeting substandard ships and improving the welfare of seafarers was impactful. If yes, please join us every week on Maritime Radar to explore potential that will ensure the development of the maritime sector in Africa. You can also expect the latest in global and local maritime news plus industry insights right here. I'm Nneoma Obi-Asualo. I truly appreciate your time today and look forward to sharing another insightful package with you next week.